The Titanic, the colossal vessel deemed unsinkable, met its watery grave in the icy Atlantic waters, shattering the illusions of invincibility. This catastrophe was not a mere twist of fate, but a series of grave errors and oversights that weaved a tragic tale of hubris and negligence. The first error was ignoring the iceberg warnings. Despite receiving at least 6 warnings from other vessels about the impending danger, the Titanic's crew, ensnared in a web of complacency, dismissed these cautionary signals. The Californian, a ship nearby, even attempted to warn them with rockets, only to have its distress signals met with indifference. Next, the Titanic was guilty of speeding in perilous waters. Brimming with overconfidence, and in an attempt to dazzle the public and press with a swift voyage, the ship sailed at a high speed of approximately 22 knots. This, despite the poor visibility and known presence of icebergs, was a reckless gamble that cost many lives. The third mistake was the failure to spot the iceberg in time. Deprived of binoculars, the lookouts were at a grave disadvantage. The iceberg was only noticed when it was less than a mile away, leaving the ship with less than a minute to react. Despite the officer in charge ordering a hard turn to the left, the collision was inevitable. The impact caused catastrophic damage to the hull, leading to the flooding of compartments. The hull, assembled with steel plates riveted together, was not designed to withstand such a collision. The impact caused the rivets to pop out, creating gaps through which water began to seep in. The ship had 16 watertight compartments, but the lack of seal at the top allowed water to spill from one compartment to another. The ship could have stayed afloat with 4 flooded compartments, but the collision damaged 6. The Titanic was also woefully under-equipped with lifeboats and life jackets. With only 20 lifeboats, which could carry roughly 1,178 people, the Titanic fell far short of providing for its 2,435 passengers and 892 crew members. This oversight was a result of the misplaced belief that the Titanic would never sink, or that other ships would provide timely rescue. The shortage of life jackets further exacerbated this dire situation. Lastly, the evacuation process was riddled with errors. The 2.5 hours it took for the Titanic to sink was squandered in disbelief, confusion, and panic. The crew, lacking proper training or instructions on launching the lifeboats, struggled to manage the crisis. Many lifeboats were lowered before they were fully loaded, and some passengers refused to leave the ship or their belongings. The result was a mere 700 survivors from the disaster. Thus, the Titanic, once a symbol of human triumph, became a stark reminder of the consequences of overconfidence and negligence. From ignoring iceberg warnings, speeding in dangerous waters, failing to spot the iceberg in time, damaging the hull, lacking enough lifeboats and life jackets, to wasting time during the evacuation, each mistake played its part in this devastating tragedy. The sinking of the Titanic serves as a lesson in humility, caution, and preparedness, echoing through history to all who dare to venture into the vast, unpredictable expanse of the sea.